So we spoke so far in the past couple of shurim in the ikr mitzvahs netila. If the netila is just by holding it, do you actually have to take it? Then we spoke about if you have to pick it up, or even without lifting it, you makayim the mitzvah. Lashon HaGemara's kimin the agbei. We also spoke about if the nanuim is part of the mitzvah, one mitzvah, two mitzvahs. Today we're going to discuss the brocho before making the mitzvah. When should you make the brocho? In general, these are klal. The klal is actually brought here in Sukkah. Kol ha-mitzvahs mevarchen aleim over l'asiyasam. When do you make the brocho? When you makayim any mitzvah, you eat matzah, you put on tefillin. You make the mitzvah before. You make the brocho before the mitzvah. Before you do the mitzvah, you make the brocho. So pashtus, since the Gemara says, the Gemara over here in Sukkah, and the Gemara in Pesachim says, Kivin the agbei nafek bei, by picking up the dalad minim, your yaitza. So when would you say you should make the bracha? Before you pick it up. That would be the pashtus. Once you pick up the dalad minim, your yaitza, and you need a mevarach aleim oivel asiyasim. So when would you make the bracha? You make the bracha right before. So if that would be the case, we're done. The problem is, Zok Tosfos Daf Lamed Tes, that it's loy mistaber that you should be able to make a bracha before you take the dalad minim. Why not? What's the problem? L'chayr, that's a good setup. You make the bracha and then you take the dalad minim to do the mitzvah. That's a regular oivel asiyasam. Zok Tosfos that it'll be over the over, which means it's too far away from making the bracha, from doing the mitzvah. Just like you find by tefillin. The Gemara Menacha says that when do you make the bracha? You can't make the bracha when the tefillin is still on the table. You have to make a bracha when it's already on your hand, when it's on your hand and the kshira. Otherwise, the bracha that you're making is too far away. You can't make a bracha now and then go downstairs and put on your tefillin. You have to do it samach to the mitzvah. So Mamela over here, by netilas dalad minim, Zok Tosfos, if the dalad minim are still on the table, it's too far away for the kiyum mitzvah. And Mamela over there, you can't make a bracha when it's still on the table. So what's the eitzah? What's the eitzah? What should you do? So we'll see these many different eitzahs. Tosfos brings a few. He's brought other places, other eitzahs. The first eitzah is the eitzah brought in Tosfos. The Shulchan Aruch actually brings the first two eitzahs. The first one is pick up the lulav and leave the esrog on the table, make the bracha, and then after the bracha you pick up the esrog. Now why do you pick up the lulav? Maybe you should do it the opposite way. Because lamaisa, you're making a bracha on the tilas lulav. So the ikr, really, the bracha is on the lulav. So if you're going to leave the lulav on the table, you didn't really accomplish anything. It's too far away. So you pick up the lulav, leave the esrog on the table, make the bracha, and then after you make the bracha, you pick up the esrog, and then you have the whole mitzvah. That's the first eitzah. We'll get back to it in a minute, because we're going to say the second one, and then these are general shaila in the first two eitzahs. But again, the first eitzah is a pretty clear eitzah. You pick up the lulav, you don't pick up the esrog, you make the bracha. It's close enough because you already picked up part of the dalad minim, make the bracha, and then you pick up the esrog as well. The second eitzah, what to do, is also the eitzah that's brought in the Scheiner, Tosfos, the Tur, the Shulchan Aruch brings it, which most of us are very used to, that you pick it up upside down, which means you pick up the lulav regularly. However, the esrog you take upside down, and the halach is you have to take it kederach gedulasoi, and if not, you're not yoitza. So Mela, it's pretty close. It's not like the tefillin's on the table. It's close to you. You already picked up the esrog. However, it's upside down, and you can't be yoitza because it didn't call a mitzvah. It has to be kederach gedulasoi, the esrog. So since you need a kederach gedulasoi, you're not yoitza, and then you turn it over. Agav, it's important to note that sometimes people mistakenly they pick up the esrog and then they turn it over because you're supposed to turn it over. But if you're holding the lulav and then you pick up the esrog and then you turn it over, so by picking it up, you're already yoitza. So you have to make sure when you pick up the esrog, make sure to pick up the esrog upside down. That's the second eitzah, that you pick up all the minim, but when you pick up the esrog, you're picking it up upside down. And memela, it's oivel asiyasam, it's close enough, but it's still oivel asiyasam. Some take issue with this eitzah. I think rather Rabbi Yehuda, we spoke about it, but it's a kol boy. The Eli Rabbi brings it. He doesn't really like this eitzah of picking it up upside down. He says it's zilusa of the mitzvah. It's a zilzala mitzvah to pick up the esrog upside down. Happens to be we find that l'kulam, these different ways of side of tefillin to hang down, or even by the esrog, tachas hashechi, different places to hold it. You're not supposed to do it out zilusa. So the concept of zilusa is agreed by everybody. The question is if there's a problem here of zilusa, by this particular case of picking up the esrog upside down. So the Vailu, we have two eitzes. One eitzes is don't pick up the esrog, just the lulav, or pick it up upside down. Those are the two eitzes. The Bach asks the Shaila, the Goyen also asks the question, and we're going to get to the Goyen a little bit later, the general Shitas Agra. But the Bach asks, these are halacha, natlon bezecha ze yatza. You pick up the lulav, you put it down. You pick up the next min, each min by itself is yatza, and it's kapaskin like that in Shulchan Aruch. La halacha, you do not have to take all four minim together. Even if you take one at a time, you yatza. The Mela, frek the Bach, what's the eitzah? You pick up the lulav, and don't pick up the esrog, or pick it up upside down, which is like not picking it up. But lamaisa, since the halacha is natlon bezecha ze yatza, each min by itself you can take by itself and you yatza. So what's the eitzah of picking up the lulav properly, and the esrog you don't pick up or you pick it up upside down? Lamaisa, when you took the lulav you took already, that part you were yatza, and you're making a bracha. Your bracha is a bracha on the lulav. So since you make a bracha on the lulav and you're already yatza, l'chayr it's not over lasiyasam. That's the Bach's shaila. So the first two eitzahs, he says, what is the eitzah? What's the eitzah of not taking the esrog or upside down? Lamaisa, you took the lulav, not lamazecha, say you yaitza. So we'll go into explain that in a minute. The Bach says words, and l'chayr will explain the kasha and the teretz. But the Bach actually brings a tzad, and he brings a list of many that say this eitzah, that you should really take both upside down. You should take both upside down. The eitzah not to take both is not really a eitzah, because then you don't. It's on the table. It's over. But if you take, he says to take them both. The Torah says either the lulav or the esrog upside down. But he says you take both upside down. So mamela you take have over lasiyasam. No, for sure after the bracha you're going to turn them both back over properly to do the mitzvah. But before you make the bracha, pick them both up upside down. Pashtus, you pick up the lulav regularly, and the esrog you pick up upside down. So it's close enough to the mitzvah, but it's over lasiyasam because you weren't Hachaim yet. But the question is, what do you mean? You did already the mitzvah by taking the lulav. So there is a eitzah to have both upside down. Lamaisa, what'd you say? So really, that's the other eitzah of what. But what do you mean to do one upside down and one not to take b'chlal? So really, once you're going already with the upside down eitzah, so technically you can have all. We'll see there'll be more eitzahs. You can do all 7 eitzahs also. What'd you say? You definitely don't need it. You don't need both. You don't need both. Well asked if you need both. You don't, because when Tosfos says it, Tosfos says eitzah separately. He says either don't pick it up, or if you pick it up upside down. You don't need both. But I hear what you want to do both is one min don't pick up, one you don't need both. And really what we want to accomplish, and I want to say why you can't do what you want to do, one upside down and one, because really we want to take the lulav properly. And the reason for that is because we're saying al natilas lulav, so we want to be pretty close to that. The Bach does bring many shitas to turn it upside down. So then if you turn the lulav upside down, you take a right, that you could do one upside down and one not take b'chlal, you could be mitzaref. Lamaisa, you are very good taka, that when the Bach shaila, natlam bezecha zer yatza. It's true natlam bezecha zer yatza. But the halacha is that even though natlam bezecha zer yatza, you have to take all 4. It's ma'akfen, which l'chayra means that you're not yoitza the mitzvahs netilas dalad minim until you take all 4. You pick up the lulav, and then you put it down. did you do anything? You don't have the mitzvah. Till after all four, then you have the kiyum mitzvah. So what's the Bach asking? What's the Bach asking that you l'chayra you're ready Nachum b'zeh chazeh? The Goyim brings this shaila also. You l'chayra, it's what's the shaila? The shaila is l'chayra you're not makayim till the end. So l'chayra you could definitely make a bracha before. What's the problem of Nachum b'zeh chazeh? No, you hear the shaila? Nachum b'zeh chazeh. L'maisa enachanavi. The halach is Nachum b'zeh chazeh yoytze. You're yoytze, but you only yoytze till after you do all four. You have to do all four. So l'chayra, you still have it's a good eitzah l'chayra to do it, to take the lulav properly, the other one upside down, and it's b'zeh chazeh, but it's b'zeh chazeh, but you need to do all. So that's really l'chayra the shaila and the answer in the Bach. This halacha that you need oivel asayasam is oivel asayasam in the ma'isa mitzvah. Do you need oivel asayasam when you do the mitzvah? You make the bracha before. Does it have to be before the ma'isa mitzvah? The ma'isa mitzvah of netilas lulav you did already. The ma'isa mitzvah you did. You're not makayim the mitzvah till you do all four, but the ma'isa mitzvah you did. The ma'isa mitzvah by picking up the lulav you did the ma'isa mitzvah. So if you need kol ha-mitzvahs, you have to mevarchim leim oivel asayasam before doing the mitzvah. The ma'isa mitzvah you did already. You picked up the lulav. However, if it's not in the ma'isa mitzvah, it's in the kiyum mitzvah. Make sure to make a bracha before you makayim the mitzvah. The kiyum mitzvah you were not makayim till later. So in Melu, you should be able to make a bracha. That's the Bach's teretz. The Bach says that l'maisa you don't have the mitzvah till later, which means you don't have the kiyum mitzvah. You have to have all four. So since you don't have the kiyum mitzvah, the Melu kiyum mitzvah, you could still make the bracha. So far we have two eitzes. Either you don't pick up the esrog, or if you pick it up upside down. And like we said, even though not l'mazer chazel, l'maisa you don't have the kiyum mitzvah until you do all four. So maybe you could still make the broch, and it's going to be oivel asiyasam. The next eitzah, which is also brought in Taisvis, but this is already not brought. Maybe it is brought in the Shulchan Aruch. The next eitzah, I don't think the Shulchan Aruch brings it. The Paischa, the Magen Avraham brings it. The next eitzah is the eitzah to be machava, not to be yotzah. Pick up all four daled minim, not upside down, not pick it up properly, but just be machaven shaloi lotzes. And then after you make the bracha, change your mind, change it and say you want to be yotzah. Like we heard in the past, Rabbi Wright said it's not such a practical eitzah to be mazbit to people, a regular person, be machaven shaloi lotzes, then yeah be yotzah. But that's a klora eitzah. You machaven shaloi lotzes, you're not yotzah. You make the bracha. And then you mechaven lotzis. That's a third eitzah. What? And then what? Make another bracha? You mean bracha Scheiner? Okay, that's berachas aperis. We'll leave it on the side, but could be then it's going to be a bracha Scheiner tzricha. The Kappas Tmorim asks a moira de geshaila on this third eitzah of mechaven shaloi lotzis. Frek the Kappas Tmorim. What? He asks it not on Taisus, but on the tour. The tour paskin, there's a paskin Shulchan Aruch that by mitzvahs tzrichas kavana, and if you're not mechaven, you're not yotzah. In other words, you have to have kavana, positive kavana for the mitzvah. If you're not mechaven, you're not yotzah. So frekta kappas tomorrow, why do you have to have kavana? Shaloi lotzeis. Why do you have to have kavana? Shaloi lotzeis. Just don't be mechaven. When you take the dal minim, you have to be mechaven. You have to be mechaven. So if you're not mechaven, you're not yotzei. You have to have kavana shaloi lotzeis. What are you saying this? Very good. I was telling it over to somebody. He said the same thing. Very good. The Mishnah brings a la'alacha the chay adam by shofar. It could be by yeshiva sukkah. Could be it's brought over there also. It's by different. It's chelik vav for sure. But anything that you do a ma'isa, very good. Nissan saying l'chayr it's a klar zach. When you have the chay adam says if it's ma'isa of meichichim by shofar, even if the Baal Tekei is so nervous, or even that. And he's not mechamen, he's no kavana for the mitzvah, but since it's ma'isa of mechichim, if you practice on the side, so it's not muchach, but if you're in the matzav of doing the mitzvah, even without kavana you're yotzei. So by dalad minim, which person takes up the dalad minim stamazay? Especially doing it either before halal to do the mitzvah. So l'chayra, if you just don't have kavanah, you'll be yoytze the mitzvah. L'chayra, that's a klar teres on the kappas tomorrow. The reason why you have to be mechamet shaloi lotzis is because if you're not mechamet shaloi lotzis, you're still going to be yoytze. One other thing is l'chayra, this shaila is only a shaila by the deraisa. By deraisa, we pass a mitzvah shrichas kavanah. By the rabbana, we don't pass a mitzvah shrichas kavanah. And memela l'chayra, all the other days, this won't be a eitzah. So therefore, you have to be mechamet shaloi lotzis. Sounds klar. But that's the third eitzah. The third eitzah is the mechamet shaloi lotzis. The next eitzah, the fourth eitzah, what to do when you pick up the daled minim, to be able to make the bracha over l'asiyasa, but it shouldn't be too far away, is that even if you picked it up properly, not upside down, not picked up without any kavanas, you picked it up, everything, genoi mechaven lotzis. Seder Yishayim, you still have an eitzah, and the eitzah is, even after you did the mitzvah, because he's still nanuim. Since he's still nanuim, and like we saw, the nanuim is still part of the mitzvah, so maybe you could still make a bracha out to nanuim. Still make a bracha out to nanuim. But Maisa, it's not muvur klar which nanuim we're talking about. Is it the first nanuim, dafke the nanuim of b'shas, the netila, or even the nanuim of halal? We spoke about it last 2 shurim ago in the nanuim. That could be the first nanuim. The Chassam Sefer learns it's the raisa. The second nanuim is maybe even only a minig. But which nanuim are we talking about? Which means, la halacha. If somebody took the daled minim, he forgot to make the bracha, picked them up properly, and not only he picked them up, he did the nanuim, all the sides, every way, up, down, and now he chapti to make the bracha. Could you still make the bracha? Which nanuim are we talking about? So the Chaya Adam, when he speaks about this, that you can make a bracha even before the nanuim, the Chaya Adam says, not only could you make a bracha before halal on the nanuim, even during halal, bein aprakim, you could still make the bracha. It's not a hefsek, bein perik, leperik. But that's the Chaya Adam. We're not going to go into, if Lamaisi you have the bracha of halal, but you can make a bracha bein perik, leperik in halal. So it's mavur klar in the Chaya Adam that we're talking about even the nanuim of halal. So if somebody took the daled minim in the morning or before halal and he forgot to make a bracha, either before halal he can make a bracha or even in the middle of halal he can make a bracha. What happens if you already finished halal? So you did already all the nanuim. You did the nanuim of the mitzvah, the bracha, without a bracha, and you did the nanuim of halal. Could you still make a bracha? So the Chaya Adam is mesupik. It could be you could still make a bracha because of the Hishanis. Chaya Adam is mesupik, could be out to the Hishanis, you can make a bracha. So Maisa, the Bekur Yaakov says you could make a bracha even after halal. If somebody forgot to make the bracha completely, after all nanuim, says the Bekur Yaakov, you could still make a bracha out to the Hishanis. Just another few more eitzes, and we're going to get back what happens after the Shanas, which means what happens if you completely forgot even afterwards. But in Smavur, in the Bekur Yaakov, even if you picked it up properly, you did the nanuim of halal, and you're holding now before a Shanas, whether if you say a Shanas right after halal, you say a Shanas at the end of davening, but you can make a bracha before a Shanas. The next eitzah is an eitzah which is somewhat noig like that, to pick up the 4 minim, the lulav, the esrog, but you pick it up separately in 2 separate hands and make the bracha and then put it together. Since these halacha, the Shulchan Aruch says you're supposed to be machaber, to put the esrog together with the lulav. So memela, if you pick them up separately, you're not yoytza, and that's what they do. The minig, it's brought oitza Hachaim, minhagei tzanz, minhagei chabad. But they pick it up separately. They pick it up properly. They make the bracha and then they put it together. Lamaisa, this eitzah is not it's a little bit of a shvera eitzah. It's not foolproof to pick it up separately and put it together, because Lamaisa, the El Yerabba brings b'shem the bach that it's not liikuva. It's not liikuva to have the daled minim together. So if it's not liikuva, so you pick it up separately, you were yoytze already. It's maybe l'tchatchila, but if you're not yoytze, if it's not ma'akav, so then you did the mitzvah already. If you did the mitzvah, l'chayr, you don't have any more the bracha over l'asiyasam. The next eitzah number 6, call it, is the Kappas tomorrow. And we spoke about it was maybe the first year. In the mitzvahs netila, we spoke about when you take the dalad minim, you also have to lift it up. You have to pick up the dalad minim. We saw the Rashash says you don't have to pick it up. The Gemara Lashon Gemara Lav Dafka Kima the Agbe Nafik Be picking up Lav Dafka. The Kappas tomorrow says one must pick up the dalad minim to be yotza, which means if you take them, you hold them on the table without lifting them. Says the Kappas tomorrow, you're not yotza. So Mela. Here you have a very clear eitzah. You take the dalad minim in your hands on the table, and Mamela, it's not over, it's pretty close to the mitzvah. You hold it in your hands, but even though you hold it in your hands, you didn't pick it up, you were in yotzah. So Mamela, that's another eitzah what to do. And then after making the bracha, you lift up the dalad minim and you makayim the mitzvah. The final eitzah is an eitzah, which is also a little bit problematic, is to take all the dalad minim in one hand. Instead of holding it in two separate hands, you have all four minim in one hand. Sometimes you see people do it by a shanis. You put it all in one hand. And there's a shita that holds, the Hachaim holds that you're not, the Shabura brings it, the Hachaim holds that you're not yoitza mitzvahs and tilas dalad minim when it's all four in one hand. So maybe you pick them all four up, all four minim up, and then after the bracha, then you take the asterisk into the other hand. But lamaisa, it's not a foolproof eitzah because it's a machlokes. It's a machlokes. The Tas says that even if you hold all four minim in one hand, you're yoitza. So Mamela and the Mishabura says avada, since you should be machmer, but if somebody was noitel all four minim in one hand, lamaisa you're yoitza, and you should be machmer, so take it again without a bracha. So Mamela, it's hard to say that it's an eitzah, this last eitzah, to take all four minim in one hand, because lamaisa, some shitas hold your yoitza, and even if you want to be machmer, says the Mishabura, take it again without a bracha. So it's not an eitzah for being able to take it and then make a bracha afterwards. What happens if you didn't do any of the above 7 eitzahs? Lamaisa, you took it, you're holding already after all the nanum, after Hishanis, you picked it up properly, you machavan lotzes, you lifted it up, you did everything. So what's the halacha then? Pashtus, that's it, you lost the bracha, because kol bracha is oivel asiyasam, you can't make the bracha anymore. So we pass it, even though there's a whole shaila by Hilchos Shchita, big taz over there, machlekes Scheiner, but it's already not oivel asiyasam. And as is mavur in Bekur Yaakov, the Bekur Yaakov says, you can make a bracha before Ishanis, but after Ishanis, that's it. You can't suloi mevarach. You can't make a bracha anymore. Sharitzim brings it. However, the Goyin, the Shitas Agra, holds that you can still make a bracha. At least al Pida Shitas Agra. The Gemara in Pesachim, what does the Gemara bring this kiva de agbe nafik? The Gemara asks the shaila. We spoke about this in the past also. The Gemara brings a shaila. Why do we make a bracha al natilas lulav? If one does the mitzvah himself, then you make it with a lamed by mila. If somebody's a moil himself, you could say or you should say, but you say lamo. And if someone else does it, a moil does it, then it's ala mila. Zok the Gemara by lulav. Why do you say al natilas? You should say litoil with a lamed. So the Gemara says no. By lulav it's different. Since right when you pick it up, you yoitza, given the agbe nafik bay, so come to chayis, you're really making the bracha after the mitzvah. It's not oivel asiyasam, so therefore that changes how the bracha should be said. But what's bevur in the Gemara is that when we take dalad minim, we make the bracha afterwards. We do it afterwards. These eitzahs, the Goyin has a problem with this eitzah, that eitzah, the one of Mechamet Shlei Lotzes, he actually says if you want to do it, do that eitzah. But he learns the Gemara. The Gemara is mavur that the bracha by lulav is a bracha after, not oivel asiyasam. And Memela what? Since it's not oivel asiyasam, since it's not a bracha oivel asiyasam, which means it's afterwards, even if you forget to make the bracha till later, after Ishanis, after everything, you can make a bracha. And the Sharatzim brings like that la'alacha. So we have a machlekes ladina after you did the whole mitzvah. Whatever the mitzvah is, completely till the end, could you still make a bracha on the dalad minim? Just one last final din that's negeya and oivel asiyasam over here. What's about the bracha of shechiyanu? You make al natilas lulav, then you turn the esrog back, you pick up the esrog, all the different eitzes. What's about shechiyanu? Do you turn the esrog back before the shechiyanu? Which means you don't need over lasiyasam on the shechiyanu. Shechiyanu is a berchas hashvach. Or you actually turn the esrog over after the shechiyanu as well. The steamus lashon ha-Shulchan Aruch of this sif, the Shulchan Aruch says, Yivarach al natilas shechiyanu, koidim sheyita la-esrog. Both brachas, side the al natila and side the shechiyanu, both brachas you should make koidim al natila. That's the pashtus lashon ha-Shulchan Aruch, which means you should turn over your esrog, turn it back over only after the shechiyanu. However, there are many that are noyig to turn the esrog back over, or any other eitzah, before the shechiyanu. The reason for that is al-pi lashon ha-yavitz. The lashon in the siddur ha-yavitz is yikach al-lulav b'yadoi v'yivarach al natilas lulav. Afterwards, achakach noitel esrog, you take the esrog, umachabroi, and you put it together, you do everything, and then you say shechiyanu. So it's ganz klar in siddur ha-yavitz that you should after the bracha you turn back over the esrog, take the esrog, and then you make a shechiyanu. Lamaisa and Sefer Hachaim, Brocho argues, and he says it's a toyas avada. You're supposed to make the shechiyanu as well, like the mashmoyas ha-Shulchan Aruch, and then afterwards, after you make the shechiyanu, then you turn it over. So we have a machlokes by shechiyanu what to do. Either you turn it over before, turn it afterwards. Machlokes ladina. So just to be masakim, we set over these 7 eitzes how it should be over lasiyasam. Either you pick up the esrog later. That's number 1. Number 2 is to pick it up and upside down. Be machavan shaloi latzes. You can still make a bracha on anuim. Pick them up separately. Don't lift it, because lifting is ma'akev. And the final one is to pick them up all in one hand. But like we saw, these are machlokes ladin. If you don't do any of these 7 eitzes, could you still make a bracha? It's a machlokes ladin if you could still make a bracha even after oivel asiyasam. Gemar chasima toiva.